Before I get started, I guess I'll pass these out. This is like our little handout. Okay, so this is Women's Resource Center. I love this space a lot. So just like to begin, we're an all-inclusive space, but we center the needs of women. We're the Women's Resource Center. I feel like the big thing is that even though we're the Women's Resource Center, the biggest resource we provide are like events and this space itself versus, I guess actually having like hand-tool materials to hand to people. We do have some things on here in our bathrooms. We have tampon pads, condoms, dams, lube, and then occasionally like little different events that little like give away different things. But generally it's the events we host, so we host like a variety of different types of events throughout the year. They're all feminist centered. So like just yesterday we had a conversation about mental health, and it was just like activist burnout and like toxic relationships and just like being a student and like dealing with your mental health. And it was like a pretty meaningful discussion back to the team, so we had psychological counseling services, that was really great. I'm happy to kind of like talk about each of the things on here so you have a general idea of the space. But also before this, just in general, like we try to make this, we call it a brave space, not a safe space, because you can't always guarantee someone's safety in a space, but you can do your best to make sure that people feel like they can be welcome here. So even if they are uncomfortable, they still feel comfortable in their discomfort. So that's really important to us. We like it we promote it as a place to study, to hang out. We have a fridge, a microwave. We really want it to be as accessible to people as possible. We have 2 gender-neutral restrooms in our building, and we have 1 lactation room. There's 2 other lactation rooms on campus. There's one in the Union, and there's one in the Love Library. And those are like pretty underutilized resources, I feel. And like, we have 2 gender-neutral bathrooms, and that's as many gender-neutral bathrooms as the Union. So like, in terms of like understanding like the size, like we kind of have like a lot of resources for being a smaller space. So the big program that we started this year was the BRAVE project, and that's a sexual violence prevention and intervention program. We work alongside organizations and professors who just like work on promoting, just like working to help destigmatize the conversation and give people the tools to feel like they can combat sexual violence and they can make this campus a safer space. And it's been a pretty good program. It's like, usually they're 3 days long, and you like end it with a certificate, and people have really found it to be beneficial, and they're like pretty good crash courses. So we highly recommend them. They're open to faculty, staff, and students. We also have living learning communities. It's called WAGE. We have a computer one, and we have like a dorm one. So they meet in here. They have like a little class. Jessica teaches it. She's also a professor on campus. And it's just a way to get the students to like have a source of community their first year here. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're all familiar with like the living learning communities, at least to some extent. And it's worked pretty well for like the girls this year. It really gave them, I feel like, I feel like they made it more of a family than certain other communities can, and I think the classes certainly help because it like forces people to socialize. So that was really fun, and we look forward to that like later on. We also have a number of groups on campus. So we have a Black Women's Healing Circle. That's a closed circle, so anyone who identifies as a Black woman is welcome to this space, and it's just like a space to talk and like to get out whatever you need to get out in a space that you feel like your identity is 100% validated and is the space that you need it to be. And which is like basically the rule for all of the groups. So we also have like a moms group, we have a survivor circle for survivors of sexual and dating violence, and we have a women's group. The women's group is, like, I feel like a little less serious. It's like, for every session they meet, it's a different topic that they focus on. All the groups tend to be a little smaller. I think at least 2 of them are facilitated by people in counseling and psych services. Importantly, the survivor circle has someone from counseling services, which means that anything they say in there stays in there, because as people who work in the Women's Resource Center, we're mandated reporters. So like, I'm not allowed in that meeting, because if someone says something, then I have to write it down. So that's a space for people to talk about whatever they need to talk about and know that they have those rights. The only other place on campus, or the only other person on campus who can do that is Jenny Harper. So I really consider it to be a valuable resource, because I feel like a lot of the reasons that some people don't come out to talk about the experiences they've gone through is because they don't want to go through the reporting process and they don't know that there's that alternative. In terms of like other programs and events, we had Galentine's Day. I love Galentine's Day. We also had like a socially conscious Halloween party. And those are like our more fun events. It's just like getting people to socialize, having a space where like people who are similarly minded like can talk about those, like the things they want to talk about, and talking about it with people that they might not otherwise meet. The Galentine's Day was really fun. It's like the day before Valentine's Day, and I think we did like, oh my gosh, I can't even remember. But like in general, we'll like get a lot of food, and then we have like a bunch of like little games, and like I'm really into the coloring pages. And it'll just be like little things like that, and it really like brings the space together. We get quite a few people to come, and they've been pretty nice. The International Women's Day March, last year we chartered a bus to go to Sacramento I could be more eloquent, but like for legislation things. I forgot like what was on the ballot at that point, but like a big group of people. It was because of the charter and like because of what the Women's Resource Center put together, we were able to get people, anyone who wanted to come without having to pay like for transportation to go all the way up there. And this time it's going to be a little bit more of a process, so that by the time that they're going, they're more informed. So like before the event, they'll have like little info sessions so they know like what they're doing. Then they're going to go to the event, and then afterwards it'll be like a little chance to like get together and talk about their experiences. Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Just I feel like generally like also like Women's History Month, we try to just be aware of like having intention with the events that we host and the months that those fall upon. So we'll host some sorts of events for like any of the corresponding months, just to give it that awareness. And then, yeah, our free resources. So I said a lot of stuff really fast, and I feel like I'm still forgetting other things. But before I think of other stuff to say, does anyone have questions? I threw a lot of crap your way. Yeah.
What month are like the International Women's, Sexual Assault, the Sexual Assault Awareness Month and the Women's History Month?
So I know the calendar knows that. I feel like everything is like, I can't even remember. The International Women's Day, I feel like that's in March. That's the only one I know for sure. I feel like Sexual Assault Awareness Month though, that's like a little bit later in the spring.
I want to say it's April. That's when a lot of the programming, but I don't know if that's.
Yeah. Sorry. Like as it is right now, the events we host are kind of like, it's one event and it's a really great event, and then we move on to another event. But in the next year, we're going to be having more like thematic events. So even if the events are a little different, they're still going to be like under a general umbrella, so that participation in our programs. Just in general, we're a really new space. The Women's Resource Center was here like back in the day, but it didn't actually have like a physical space, and then it went away. Well, it didn't go away, they defunded it. And then we got it back, just like a few years ago, and it's been restoring the wall. But, so we've been back for a couple of years, so we're trying to like rebrand ourselves, but we're really, really trying to reach out to like all the women we can on campus through their various like identities. We really strive for intersectionality. So like for any given event, like you can bet that someone's really trying to make sure that they're being inclusive, like all the people who could be coming, that they're being inclusive of people, racial identities, sexual orientation, gender identities, just like everything. So that's like really one of the things we strive for the most, so that, yeah, we just like really want people to feel welcome when they come in. I feel like that's our biggest concern with all of our events. Any other questions? I'm like trying to think if there's, I feel like we have other events that are really important. I cannot think of. But I would re-emphasize the Brave Project because it is one of our bigger events that, and it has like multiple dates and it requires like a lot of people and a lot of resources. We have like so much merchandise for that event. So, yeah, that's like our it's a big program to be putting together, and I feel like it's a really meaningful program because it's so comprehensive, and I feel like it really doesn't allow people from whatever starting point can get to the same point at the end, and I think that's important, and a lot of programs can't necessarily offer that. So for that, it's a really important program. Yeah.
For the Break Project, from my understanding is that for the ones that are left this semester, they're all filled up, but do you know when they open up again for next semester?
Not yet, but that will be established later. Yeah, we're really excited to get filled up. I didn't even get to go. Okay, I want to do you want to try to do a mini tour as everyone here, or do you want to like really split up into any amount?
Do you think if we split the group in half and then?
Yeah, that's cool.
It's just
really
a little
pretty
walkthrough, right?
brief tour.
Yeah.
We have a base, like I'm walking you through a hallway so you can see the other half, but like that has half of our resources. So, oh yeah. So in addition, like we have a library. So student orgs can request meeting spaces here. You can meet here and you can check out books here. And I mean, obviously we have a lot of feminist literature, but there's some other stuff mixed in there too. Yeah. And as far as our jobs are concerned, we have internships that students can apply for. And I'm a feminist career educator, so like this is also one of the only jobs I can get on campus because I don't get work study. And I couldn't, like, everywhere I was applying, like, would not hire me if they couldn't pay me through work study. So I was living for this job. Yeah, but yeah, okay, so how do you want to split up?
Do you want to? Yeah, split them up in half? Okay, let's see.
Wait, up until
Why don't we do like just
Tristan?
Yeah, maybe like Tristan on. You guys can go first.
So, this is our library.